Welcome to the Men of Honor podcast. My name is Corey, your host, and now we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship. And I've got Edu with me again, and he's a legend. He's Mr. Muscle Man. And yeah, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, and it's so important. It's like a massive part of our lives. He's such a bold man, and he's one of like people I respect because he was working at full time employment and he decided to leave in order to pursue entrepreneurship. And I respect people that can do that because this is exactly what we talk about on the Men of Honor. That you have to live your life by design. So he's decided he's going to live the life the way he wants, and his driving factor was to be there for his children. Like I think on one previous episode, he did say that he was watching his kids grow horizontally, meaning that every time you get home, you would find his kids already sleeping. So he's now an integral part of his family. In fact, we couldn't meet up today as early as we wanted because he needed to do his school run and stuff, and that's fulfilling, and that's where I want to be at because I at the moment I do at least 60 hours work combined with travel, and it's something that I'm now looking to move away from so I can spend more time at home and be with my kids and be an integral part of the family, integral part of my family, but also to transform the world so I can fully focus on being part of entrepreneurs and helping them discover their masculinity, but not just that, improve their businesses to the point where they're making changes around the world. So with Edu, he's doing the same thing. He's now doing his entrepreneurial thing. And my question is, what got you to that decision? What made you decide? I mean, besides the family and stuff, I want to hear your story in terms of what got you to that point of where you decided that you wanted to leave your corporate job in London and, do what you're doing now.
Hey, Kuri, thanks for having me here again. It'll be my pleasure. I can share, perhaps inspire people to take action as well and go after their dreams. One of the things that inspired me to take this action was because my son, he was identified with autism, having autism. And that became very difficult for my wife to deal with everything, taking him to different appointments and doing all those, because like we had to run out of a lot of things that we had to go to get the diagnosis closed and so many things that we had to do. My wife was like, she was very tired of doing all that. So I got to the point and then I was like, what, I haven't actually seen enjoyed my family, and this is the reason that I got married. It was to take care of them, and now where they need the most, I'm not there. So I was like, what, I think I need to play full, because actually, like, when you realize that life is just about learning, but we have that sense of security that we want to have for the rest of our lives, and then we want to play safe all the time, and then we actually don't get what life wants to give us. Because I'll tell you what, prosperity, I've been coached by Bob Proctor for a few years, and prosperity is natural. It's natural. It comes naturally. The problem is we go against the natural. We do the most difficult part, which is go to a job and feel secure. This is not natural, because like when you understand that human beings, the only people in the planet that don't know what to do next day. The lion know where he's going to hunt. The hyena know where she's going to hide. The elephant know where to. Everyone on the animal kingdom know where to go, what to do, and yet we don't know what to do next. So we feel like we want to have that sense of security. And when I saw my wife, like really struggling to get all the things in place and take my son to the treatment, I was like, I need to play full. I need to be a man of the house. And I was like, what, that's it, man. And my father and my mom, they're always been entrepreneur. They never got the results what they actually wanted, and that situation kind of scared me a little bit, because I was like, what if that happens to me as well? But then nowadays everything is on the internet. Like strategies are changing every day. People are renewing strategies. There's so many tools that you can actually use, learn it quicker, and then deliver results straight away. For instance, like for you to get results from the school, you had to study 4 years, go to the university and have a degree and all that kind of shit. But Internet changed the game. You can learn something within a month, and then you can charge a client for like $1,000, £1,000, because you're delivering results. And this is
Exactly.
what people need on the field.
That's it. I think that's the thing with the internet, that it it makes the speed incredible, and the money that you can make for a client, for instance, you can really be a rock star pretty quickly. So in terms of, I think we were talking off air, and we're talking about how we're going to structure this. We said we're going to free flow. Um, but Edu is now about to launch his thing, and we were strategizing on how we were gonna get this into market. So you can provide value to businesses, and I think this is going to be really important in terms of an episode, and for Edu, in terms of like the actual strategy of getting there. There's multiple strategies we've been
That's
talking
right, yeah.
about. There's different things that we're trying to lay out and whiteboard, and see how we're going to lay things, how we're going to get them to the Facebook group. And then when you get to the Facebook group, what are they, how are you going to layer this? How are you going to put that? And we're doing all this. There is, yes, an outcome that we want, which is to get paid, so we can look after our families. But when I speak to him, he genuinely cares about his customer, and he's freaking out. He sent me messages yesterday showing me of the slides that he was doing, and it shows so much compassion first to the customer base. And when we're making this podcast episode, we're not making this to boast, to say we are better, we've done this, we haven't achieved the things that we want to achieve yet, but the compassion comes first. And as you, as an entrepreneur, you can actually achieve great things when you put your customer first, and you actually are passionate about what you do. And in terms of your product, what is it? Can you just talk a bit about your product, and what's the strategy that you're trying to get your thing to the market?
Well, as I said, like there is strategies coming up every single day, and so if you are an entrepreneur and you are listening to it, you don't open your store just for fun. You need to have clients running to your store. You need to have your clients knowing your business, mention your business to other people. And one of the things that people haven't realized yet is that websites are dead.
That's right.
Websites are dead, and people are going to landing page, e-commerce, or niche websites. For instance, if you talk about Amazon, is a niche website because
right.
people can find all kind of product. Don't think that Mr. Ling Shang is a known person because of his store, because of his website. He's known because of Amazon.
right.
People go there and find their products there. So if you're still running your website, and you're still hoping that clients will find you on the internet, you need to move fast. This is one of the strategies that I'm bringing to the marketplace, because a lot of Brazilian people, they don't market their business properly.
Yeah. So your market is Brazilian,
for timing being,
yeah.
yes.
It's the Brazilian people that you sorry, Brazilian business owners is your marketplace.
Yes,
Yeah.
because they haven't discovered that Brazil is a niche.
Yeah.
It's a niche where people, they travel to Brazil, they know Brazilian culture, they want to buy Brazilian products, and yet they don't know where to find it, because most people, they just market their products inside of a group,
Yeah.
in Portuguese, and they still live in UK or whatever country, in US or Japan, but there's a niche behind it.
Right.
And so if you don't make it open, it's like having a shopping center online. Well, it's easier for you to find like a shopping center here, Westfield, or find a corner shop like somewhere hidden in a certain place.
That's right.
That's like when you realize that the analogic word is exactly the same as digital word, you need to copy and paste.
Yeah.
If you have a chance to open a store, where would you open your store?
At the marketplace. Yeah.
In the marketplace, inside of a shopping center, right?
Right.
So that's why you have to drive your business towards these kind of niche websites. For instance, if you are I don't know, if you're a plumber, you have to have your website that brings you authority for your business, and yet you have to be registered in a marketplace for plumbers, because when people are looking for plumbers, they go into these websites and they look for review. So you need to make sure that you have good reviews. That will drive customers like ready to buy or ready to get your services when they find you easily, and they see that you have good results or good feedback from different customers, you have a client straight away without any sort of spending too much money in traffic and all that. So there is a different strategies that can be used today, and that's why Amazon, Trivago, and so are the good
Airbnb
platforms, yeah,
and others.
Airbnb,
Yeah,
Uber, they're niches websites where they drive people because their website is known. So for today, if you want to get a taxi, a Uber drive, do you think you go for a website? You just go for Uber, and then you have a taxi driver on your door
that's right.
just because of Uber. So this is kind of solution that I want to deliver to the
So
Brazilian
in,
community.
in terms of getting your product to the Brazilian business owners, what's the strategy to actually get them into your ecosystem? So the thing that you're building, how are you going to? What's your strategy to get them in?
Well, the strategy, there will be two launches, because the first one is going to be for the people that they want to participate from this, let's say, shopping center online.
Yeah,
Okay. And the final launch is going to be for the customers. So they can come into the platform, and then they can have access to any kind of business. And then that will be open for the public.
yeah,
So the strategies that we are developing now, that we are coming up with
yeah.
throughout this journey, is how we're going to deliver value for the business owner,
Yeah.
and then we can actually show them that they need it. It's a tool that they actually need it, and but to make sure how they're going to get the best out of it, and bring customers for themselves.
Okay. So like in terms of your launch, what are you working on? Is it what's so like? I think in terms of launches, it's different, and sometimes your launch is different based on price, and depending on because I've spoken about this before on the podcast that when you are selling online, the most important thing becomes the education. So you educating your customer on the thing that you're delivering, you are presenting the value of what you're offering, and then value versus the price of the thing. Then when the customer weighs the value versus the price, then they know it's something that they can get. Because usually, and there's a rant that I had before. So there's an episode where I just came on. I was so angry with the MMA gym that they asked me for money without actually explaining what the money was about. They said, "Come in for an induction. It's going to cost you £40," and he did it over text.
Mhm.
So he didn't even tell me what. So there's a purpose. It's probably like there was a purpose for it, but before that he did not explain. He just expected me to just hand over £40. So if he said kick that ball and then your induction is done, I didn't know what I was doing. So I knew the value of actually going to an MMA gym and what I wanted, and I already created the value by myself in my mind. But if I was somebody who thought about trying it out and did not see the value, he had not communicated the value to me, so he would have lost me as a customer. So what I'm trying to say is there's different launches, and part of the launch is actually being able to communicate the value that you can bring. What's the method that you're giving to your customer or your potential customer? What are the methods you're going to be trying to deliver that information so you can show them the value of the thing that you're doing?
Oh yeah, we are building a value bubble that
Yeah.
we're gonna blow up during a live webinar. And the thing is, like, we are going actually to let them use the platform. We're gonna actually let them see what we're gonna deliver
Yeah.
and how important that will be for their business. And then we are like, I'm structuring like all the course that I'm gonna, because I want people to be free. This is I know the value of being free. I know it sounds wonderful when you say, "Oh, I'm free," but there is a big duty behind it. There's a big responsibility of being free.
Yeah.
And I want my customers to be free. I want them to use not only my platform, but I'll be delivering strategies where they can use their own social media to attract customers. Because a lot of people, believe me or not, they don't even know that they can get like 5,000 customers using their Facebook profile for free.
That's right.
And they still adding their family, people that don't won't bring money to them. They still adding these people for free.
That's right.
You are entrepreneur, you are solving problems, you have to use your social media for this purpose. If you want to have a second profile, then do it, but have your main profile, based on your business. And this is what I want to tell them. Like, a lot of people, believe me or not, they don't know how to do it. Instagram accounts, they don't use all the features that Instagram have available. They have their account closed, they don't have like a bill information, they don't have anything.
That's right.
So I want to combine everything, give them as a kind of a coaching, a mentorship for some time, and say that the strategies that we are bringing for them works.
That's right. And I think you touched on something that is quite pivotal there, that we have a presence online, and we don't look at it. We look at it as just social media, and we only use it for the notifications and just staying up to date with whatever. But it's actual tool, a business tool. It's just as important as actually having an office, because your website presence is pretty much what we call intellectual property. So if you think of your property as in your house, it's pretty much like that. That it's your piece of land within the internet space. So when you have a Facebook profile, it's your house, or Facebook house and Instagram house, and all those that are your spaces. And everybody at some point comes to your house. So now how you present yourself within your house becomes very important. If your house is just a walk through and there's nothing interesting to capture anyone, then they're just going to walk through. It becomes a drive-through.
I call them entrepreneur snipers. So you visit their profile, you don't even know they're entrepreneur.
Right.
You don't even know what they do.
Yeah, exactly. Just hiding.
Yeah.
Camouflage. Camouflage entrepreneur. But I guess this is what you're saying. Like, you have to have a way of capturing people, because I think the one thing that I hear quite a lot, and from Russell Brunson, is that traffic is already there. You just have to figure out a way of standing in front of the traffic. And in terms of the Facebook profile, so if you go to, like, even my Facebook profile, if you land on my Facebook profile, it's already giving you directions of where you need to go if the information, if the offer that I have is relevant to you. So if you are a dentist and you went to my profile, you'll be instantly being moved to an offer, because that's the thing that I'm offering at the moment. At some point, I think in the next few weeks, it's going to be changing. I'll be changing it to present a different type of offer. But again, it comes down to you as an entrepreneur, that you now need to start seeing your space in the internet as intellectual property. And when I say intellectual property, that's the information that you have is the information about you and about your business, but also it's your space where you can actually capture your right customer. And I guess part of it is that you said you got twofold. You're gonna have to speak to Brazilian business owners, but also you're gonna be now speaking to a wider audience. What's your strategy in terms of speaking to a wider audience and educating them?
That will be much easier, because like once you understand the power of the marketing on Facebook, running Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, that will go straight away to your customer. That's much easier. And people are buying every day, and if they don't buy from you, it's just because they don't even know you exist. That's as simple as that. Yeah. And people are going today. You have to be in front of your customer as easy as possible. So when you understand that people are looking for niche websites, and because like if you I'll give you an example. Like if your car breaks down today, okay, that's a situation, and unfortunately Google already took the space, so people go straight away into Google and say in types like best garage near me. That will come up Google straight away, so you don't even try to compete on Google, because Google push all their products first, and then later on, then it will come up whatever, like ads and all the other well-ranked websites. So the first, like, you don't even try to compete on Google. That's it, okay? But then when you move into niche websites, when you're looking for products, so first thing, people go into niche websites. For instance, if you need a builder, if you need someone a handyman, That's where you go. You go to a niche website. Most of people, they go into a niche website where they can read other customers valuation. They need other customers feedback, so they make sure that people that they are bringing to their house is a specialist.
Yeah, that's right.
So you have to move your business according to your audience. What I found it funny is like most of entrepreneurs, like when they don't understand like what their client needs, they always start networking with other entrepreneurs, which is totally wrong. They need to be with their customer instead of entrepreneurs. I know it's fulfilling, like, oh, I have a picture with that guy, he's a top entrepreneur, but you need to be after your customers. So you need to understand what your customer needs and then just deliver it.
That's right. And I guess if you were looking to get paid, you should
That's
be
right,
networking with more of your customers. And but I think in terms of online business now, it is ever changing. In terms of the tactics ever changing, but there's always an overall strategy. And I think this is what escapes a lot of entrepreneurs, the actual strategy that um, the basis of any business is, or the lifeblood for any business is actually getting customers. And that's exactly what you're saying. And capturing those customers is now the thing that most people escape because they've got websites. So, for instance, like if you've got a website that is designed to actually capture customers, and that, I think what we talked about websites being dead, what makes them dead is the fact that they do not capture customers. They're
That's
just
right.
brochures.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just like a business card, but only on digital. So it says what you do, what's your name, what's your logo, and what's your number, and there's nothing more to it than that. Whereas a direct response type website is going to be, if you arrive on that page, I'm asking you, what is it that you want? And there's an analogy that was given by Russell Brunson, and it says your website should be like walking into a shop. And imagine if you were going camping and you walk in and somebody says, hello, how are you? How can I help you? And then all of a sudden you say, I'm going camping. It's like, oh, I got this tent. And then all of a sudden you say, oh, yeah, I would like to have a tent. And once they've shown you the tent and you're happy with the tent, they will think, what else would that person need? And you think, oh, maybe they might need a barbecue. So what do you think about this barbecue? Would you like a barbecue to go along with the tent? And then just you take them to the next logical step. And you can create more value when you can present your products to your customer in a way that you send them to one thing, and then you can then give them everything else that accompanies that one thing. So, for instance, if you're a business owner that was a dentist, for instance, then you would get them in for teeth whitening. But somebody who's interested in teeth whitening might want Invisalign or so on and so forth. And this can go with anything. Chiropractor, if you can say, I can get you a massage, but if you get a massage, maybe I can get you an adjustment, and then you can get them
That's
to
right.
go in a logical step. And again, this is now at the back end of the actual process of or strategy, overall strategy, but it's now having a system of identifying those people. So, for instance, the information that you put out there is actually educational information that when somebody reads it, they understand that you know what you're talking about. But also, for them to get that information, they have to put something, give you something. So, for instance, an email, they say, okay, for me to get this information, I'm getting this email. And then by that, then you now start offering them the next bit of the information that taking them through this sales process. So this is one of the things that sort of escapes a lot of entrepreneurs, and it did for me for a long period of time. And I'm beginning to sort of figure it out, and that's how I'm beginning to see a bit of change, even just belief in terms of my bank account hasn't changed that much, but I've got now that belief that I've got nothing to worry about in terms of money for the next coming, because the strategy stays the same. The tactics, although online, are constantly changing, and it's one of those challenges that many entrepreneurs get. But I've overspoken now. But I only hear your last thoughts on like what's your advice to an entrepreneur right
I
now?
think the advice I would give is like people are buying every day, and people normally entrepreneurs think that the customers will run away. They'll buy from them once, you know. So I think there's a two ways that you can actually get attention from your customers, and this is what marketing is all about: is getting attention. So there's two ways. You can either create a promotion and spend £1,000 like on Facebook ads or Instagram ads to get the attention, okay, and then like you're gonna have a very small percentage of clients coming to your store. You give like 10% and then promote it, you know. Or you can give a big promotion, right, 50% or something like that, and then you have a lot of customers running to your stores, because when you understand the lifetime of customers, they'll be buying from you over and over again.
That's right.
You know, so at least you have the opportunity to meet them and to actually deliver the service that you want to, and then they'll become customers for life. But people are scared, you know, to give like 50% discount, 75% discount,
right.
think that the customers will run away and they're gonna be dead next day.
Right.
They'll come back for sure. They'll tell their friends, they'll tell their parents, their neighbors, and then they'll be doing the marketing for you. You know,
Right.
this is a strategy. It's all about how you can get attention.
Exactly. I think that's the thing. It's more the attention is like massive, and for me this has been a massive struggle, and like trying to actually get out there and put my name out there and stuff like that. And I think for me, I took a step back because I was doing Instagram lives, I was doing Facebook lives, and I was doing this to a marketplace that I thought I was going to make it. But I think I had to take a step back and actually think about, because I took a moment one day and I thought, if I did get a customer, how would I get that result? And I could not definitively say this is how I'm going to get the result. So I just started mapping out what I needed to do. And again, now I'm in the process where I'm beginning to do what you're saying, like really get attention, like really start making noise, and you know,
it works. It works. It's all
yeah.
about attention. Today, you know, like everyone is on marketing field says that our attention span is less than a goldfish. So
right.
Can you imagine, man? We have 3 seconds to call attention.
That's right.
You know, so everything is about attention. And especially like when people want to, they start making lives, they start making videos, they introduce themselves, and then they got so slow. By 3 seconds, you lost your customer.
Right.
You know, so you have to do some crazy things. It's all about your business. Actually, when you understand that people actually need the service that you are delivering, that you are offering, you are bringing a solution to them, so they need to buy from you.
That's right.
And that's it. Just call their attention and just sell to them.
That's crazy. I mean, we could unpack this one for a long time. I think there's so much we could talk about this, but we're running out of time. So, guys, thank you very much for listening to this podcast. And I'm going to be delivering a lot of business stuff. I've talked about sex. We've talked about meeting women. We've talked about, and that was for the single guys. We've talked about fitness. So, and these are the pillars of the Men of Honor. You know, we want you to succeed in all areas of life. I think there's a lot of information on like what we're talking about right now in terms of tactics and strategies of doing things online and growing your business and everything. But there is no an overall approach. I think looking at it, an overall approach is more important. Like there's a lot of people that will talk about fitness, they'll talk about mentorship, and they'll talk about the actual business, and then they completely neglect about the wife, and that he's actually a husband, and this is a father as well. So on the Men of Honor podcast, this is what we focus on, and we focus on overall freedom. And that overall freedom is not just financially, but it's also, like as everyone said to me, that true freedom isn't only financial. It's actually living off, that you're living your life and you're happy, completely happy, in everything, in every area of your life. So thank you very much, guys, for listening. And these are the longer ones. When I do the interviews, I actually do the 30 minutes. So if you want to learn more, join the Men of Honor Facebook group. And if you've got any question, you can get us on the Instagram. Actually, I'm building a landing page where you can actually go and ask questions anonymously without having to go through my Instagram and stuff, because I think I'm stopping people from actually asking more questions. So you can anonymously just go there, and there's a box where you can just type in your thing, press send, and then nobody will ever know who you are. because then that way we can actually get you content that will be practical to everyone, because your question is probably uh, on the minds of many other entrepreneurs as well. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll be seeing you very soon. Take care.